Dear students, I am here to present before you the orientation for the elective Information Theory and Coding. As can be seen, the subject is in semester 5. The course code is ET545 and there are 3 lectures, and the final theory paper will be of 100 marks and internal assessment is of 25 marks. So basically, who is eligible to take this particular course? Now this course is offered as a professional elective for semester 5 electronics and telecommunication engineering students, as well as it is offered as open elective for semester 5 computer engineering students. So there are the 3 key topics in this particular subject are information theory, source coding and channel coding. What is information theory? Information theory is nothing but a branch of probability theory which allows us to quantify information in a message. Now, what is information? The dictionary meaning of information is facts provided or learned about something or someone, or I can say what is conveyed or represented by a particular arrangement or sequence of things. But in the broader sense, information is interpreted to include messages in any communication media such as telephony, radio, TV, computers, data processing, etc. Say for example, I am communicating with somebody via WhatsApp. So I am transferring some information. It may be over telephone, or it may be over radio, or it may be through newspapers or any other digital media. So I am passing information. So in information theory, what is done is that how the information is quantified, that is how I can measure the information which is transmitted or which is received. That is what we would be studying in information theory. Now in simple terms, if at all you talk about how much is the data which is used by a person in a particular day, say your mobile data, so that is quantifying the amount of information. Or say for example, how much is the data which is stored in your downloads folder, whatever. So that also will help you to quantify information. Now next we move on to something called as coding. Now what is coding? Now coding is basically a procedure for mapping set of messages into a new set of encoded messages. Now first of all, we know that the computers will be communicating in binary language. But whatever we want to transmit or whatever message we want to convey, it will not be binary. So simple coding would be to convert from anything else to a binary language. That is also coding. And while doing so, 2 things we shall keep in mind. One is that whenever we are coding, say so for example, if at all we want to transfer information, what we have to do is that, say for example, whenever we are sending a mail, what we try to do is that we try to reduce the amount of information or compress the data. Now that is what we call as source coding. So whenever we are mapping the messages into code words such a way that the data is more efficiently represented, that is the data can be compressed. So that is what is called as source coding. And the other type of coding is channel coding, wherein you take care that whenever the information is transmitted over a noisy channel, it would not get corrupted. So whatever we are doing here, so that the data will not be corrupted in the presence of noise, that is called as channel coding. So in this particular subject, after studying information theory, we would apply this information theory to develop coding algorithms which would be used to code the data, that is either source coding or channel coding. So this is a diagram which shows that the data which was transmitted, this is the data which was sent, and this is the data which is received. So what happens is that 2 bits of data are in error, that is this which was a 1, it has become a 0, and 0 is become a 1. So channel coding is nothing but error control coding, a type of a coding technique which can be used to correct such errors. So basically this is a typical communication system. It may be simply that you are communicating with a friend via WhatsApp, or you are sending an email. So in this you are the input signal and your friend will be at the destination, that is the output signal. So basically you would be first would be the source coding, which will be done, channel coding, followed by modulation, and it is transmitted via an antenna, and then we have a receiving antenna, and then the reverse operations take place along this path. The prerequisites for this subject is basic linear algebra, that is matrices, little idea of matrices and polynomials, what you already have, brief idea about probability, that is how you calculate simple probability, and majorly you will require logic design concepts, that is simple like AND operation, OR operation, XNOR operation, the basic idea of logic design. The course objectives, these are the course objectives of the subject, that you will be able to understand information theoretic behavior of a communication system, and then there are certain problems you will be able to come to know of different type of communication channels, and you will be able to develop algorithms, okay, various source coding techniques, and based upon which you can calculate the efficiency of the source, and also you will understand various channel coding techniques. So this is the content. This is unit 1, which is consisting of information theory, mutual information, and channel capacity. So these are the different types of channels which are there. In unit 2 you have source coding techniques and certain theorems with respect to source coding and channel coding. Unit 3 we have channel coding. This is the content for unit 3, that is error control or channel coding. There are different types of coding algorithms which we will be studying here, such as linear block codes, repeated codes, Hadamard codes, cyclic codes, etc. And in the 4th unit we have again continuation of something called as burst error correction. So burst error correction is basically when a bunch of bits will be in error, and we would be seeing how to correct these particular errors. Then we will have convolutional coding and decoding, and followed by certain comparison and turbo codes. So these are some of the textbooks which will be referred for this subject. And coming to the applications of information theory and coding. So basically applications are that it can help to improve the efficiency and capacity of computers and storage devices. Cryptography is one of the applications. Machine to machine communications, IoT, secure data transmission, speech coding, mobile communication, wireless communication, satellite communications, bioinformatics, and genomics. These are some of the applications of ITC. So thank you very much for your patient listening.